pups and dogs everywhere around here. We often get a lot of questions about our guardian dogs. So today we're going to take a look at some of the aspects and answer a lot of the common questions we receive regarding our dogs. Well, the topic of guardian dogs is actually quite complex. So I'm going to do my best to dive in here into this complex subject. And what better place to start than the beginning? Who can resist a polar bear puppy? Let's take a look at a few aspects, starting with these little guys. I'm standing here in our back pasture. It's a beautiful winter day, lots of snow. Temperature is 11 degrees with a slight wind chill that brings it down to about -5. And I wanted to give you a glimpse of what a livestock guardian dog does in this type of weather. We get a lot of questions about that. You know, how do dogs tolerate really cold weather? Here we have to bundle up in parkas and hats and gloves, and the dogs don't have that option. What do? Well, number one, we provide shelter always, and usually we provide a selection of different shelters. We use a lot of straw, which is very insulating, because as it turns out, the wet and the wind is far more dangerous than the cold. So as long as an animal can protect themselves from wet and wind, they stand an okay chance. That is also assuming the dog has a double coat. These guardian dogs are a lot different than our normal house dog. Rosa, our house dog, has no double coat. She would probably freeze out here in about 20 minutes. But we actually have a litter of 8-week-old puppies. They just turned 8 weeks today. These are guardian dogs. They were born outside right before Christmas, and they have big, thick, fluffy coats. Let me show you what they think of the snow.
Hi there. Hi there.
So as you can see, these puppies are not shivering. They're not acting miserable. They're not acting cold. Although they have full access to multiple shelters, warm huts, things that are colored black to absorb heat. We give them all sorts of options over at the barn. They can even go inside the barn itself into the chicken area where it's probably a good 20 degrees warmer, but they choose to be out here. This is where they're comfortable. Certainly you wouldn't want to take a dog that's been inside its whole life and throw it out in these conditions. That would not be a good thing. But for a pup that's selectively bred to have that thick coat and then raised outside and able to acclimate, from then on they're perfectly safe.
Are you eating what's in my pockets? Huh? You are. You're eating what's in my pockets.
No, don't get too excited. We don't want him to jump. Nope, don't let him jump.
Can I come
There
in?
you go.
Can I come in, Mom? No.
Nope, stay there. Too many people. They're busier playing with our little farm dog. She's our pet.
I do not like that badger face.
See, the goats are coming over to say hi. The puppies are used to the goats, so they're nothing new. So as you see, when the puppies start to jump, all of our children are taught to knee them in the chest. It's just a bump to make it uncomfortable, and it discourages the puppies from do that. We never pet or reward them in any way when they're jumping. We only pet when they're down on 4 feet, and they learn this pretty quickly. It doesn't take long at all. So here's a couple more children coming over to say hi. Hi, Joy.
Uh-oh.
You guys just, oh, don't let him jump on you.
You say good puppy. UPS. UPS is...
Aiden, why don't you go over there and just sit? Let him come climb on you. Call him to you. Oh, there's a UPS truck. You can hear, the barking you hear is actually my little house dog. You can see the other puppies really didn't respond. They're not bad barkers at all. It's really more when there's something they don't know or aren't familiar with. Don't let them scratch you.
They got him off.
You need a hand?
Nope. No.
If we get dogs that are mature, usually as part of a rehome situation, we often have to do poultry training. When doing this, we use a technique called collar leash correction. It's just a quick jerk on the collar to surprise them. They associate the chicken with the surprise, and after a few sessions, they learn to simply ignore the chickens. Here, come back this way, guys. Sean, come back over here. You can see as this dog is figuring it out. She thinks about charging a chicken, but then remembers her manners. Now we know we are making progress.
So which one is mine?
You've got Molly.
Yeah. No.
Give him a correction, Sean.
No.
Whenever they zero in on a chicken, you give them a correction. We continue this process of alternating collar leash corrections and verbal praise in short sessions until the dogs consistently ignore the poultry. That's better, Michaela. Call her to you and praise her. All right, head over this way, guys. Sean.
This way.
Yep. Aspen? Quiet. What you just saw there was our adolescent guardian. This is his first season as an adult. And he is trying to protect this baby goat from its mother. He hears it crying. He doesn't yet understand she's not hurting it. So he's not exactly sure how to react. It's his instinct to protect the helpless. And we've occasionally seen males, particularly for some reason, I guess being the protector they are, they tend to want to take the baby and protect it from its mother, which is obviously not a desirable thing to do. So sometimes they just need a little more guidance and let them know that's not okay to do. They're just supposed to sit at a distance and watch and only intervene if there's a problem. So what he's doing now is exactly what I want to see. And there's baby number 2, just delivered. This is Willow, timidly trying to check out Joy's new kids. They've just been born. And I thought I'd show you an ideal response. She's curious. Willow's just over a year old, so her first kidding season, she was just a baby herself. So we like to monitor our guardians for their first 1 or 2 seasons. And in this case, Willow's more on the timid side anyway. So she's checking things out. She knows these are something new and something to be protected. So she's not gonna leave quite yet, but when Mama Doe tells her to back off, she does. She doesn't get aggressive. She doesn't try to steal them. So they've basically got a checkmate going on where Willow says, okay, they're your babies, but you better be nice to them. Hi, Willow. Are you checking out the babies? This example shows our very first Livestock Guardian dog, an adolescent female. You can see she is aggressively playful and wants to be friends with these babies. Of course, they're too small, so we will spend time closely monitoring the situation. She will be kept separated when we can't supervise, at least for a couple of days. When we are there to supervise, we use verbal corrections and lots of praise when she treats them appropriately. The goal is to let the mother doe dictate how close she can get, and she has to learn not to chase or play with the babies. Rather, she needs to learn to be gentle and calm around them. Within a week, this dog was allowed to live full-time with these baby goats and protect them from fox and other predators. She learned very quickly with just minimal guidance. Since the primary job of a livestock guardian is to protect the livestock and crops from pests, the occasional kill is inevitable. On this day, we videoed the dogs dispatching a groundhog that had gotten into their area. He had been causing problems in our garden, and they dealt with him as needed. People often wonder how a guardian dog will accept the farm pet. Here's a classic example. Our little pound puppy, the black one there obviously, thinks she runs this farm. And the dogs just kind of tolerate her. They play with her a little bit. Hey, Bucky, don't eat my zipper. Today, we're actually driving from Illinois to Colorado to deliver some of our Livestock Guardian puppies and one of our bigger dogs who's already trained to new homes in Colorado. We have worked with a group out there known as the Colorado Mountain Dog Association. We actually raise primarily Great Pyrenees or Pyrenees with a slight Anatolian Shepherd mix, and it's been a great cross for us. And this group actually uses many of our dogs as outcrosses for their breeders because we've got such good genetics. So it's something we're very proud of, and we try to help them out by actually delivering our puppies personally. That will save any type of stress from shipping. Instead of shipping in an aircraft or any other option like a commercial shipper, they get to just kind of live the pampered life here. There's Willow taking a nap in the back. Hi, Willow. She's just kind of hanging out. And then right behind her are a couple of the puppies. They tend to enjoy being close, even though the puppies are already weaned. They still enjoy each other's company and mom's company, so they all just sort of hang out together. And we just stop every couple of hours and let them walk on a leash in a safe spot or give them a little snack and some water. So I'm able to make sure they're well cared for the whole way. In fact, the biggest challenge of these type of trips is making sure they stay cool. Remember from earlier, I showed you how our pups and dogs are acclimated to the outdoors. traveling this time of year is actually a nice time to travel. You can kind of see outside, the ground is snow covered. It's actually about 22 degrees today, and it helps us keep the dogs cool even in the van. I'm able to run the heat up front to keep us warm. We can vent the back for the dogs. If they get a little warm, we get them out and walk them in the snow. So it all balances out. But meanwhile, I get to just sit here and chill while our 15-year-old new permit owner does a lot of the driving on this trip. So I think I'm the one that's kind of spoiled too.